Hello, and hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome back, hopefully, to Angels with Scaly Wings. We're where we left off, honestly. Let's just look through the loads. July. Oh, God. So it's like... Where did I leave off, man? Maybe I should look up, like, my last video. I'm gonna... Well, September 26, 2116. And then we have chapter 2 here, but the chapter 3 is here. And I have all 8 pages. That's why I hate massive visual novels without, like, infinite pages of saves. But I've used them all. Which ones are fine which ones are fine for me to get rid of? I know there'd be saves that I kept for myself to go back to and be like, okay, well, this is like a bridge or a butterfly effect pathway going into a different direction. Oh, God. This is where I left off, apparently, though. Oh, it was like day or night 3 of dating, I think. Okay. Shit. You know what? I'm gonna look at my old video. Oh, God. My fucking hair being short. Oh, God. So let's see. What did I do beforehand? We visited the police archives and the production facility. I think I remember the police archives. Yeah, okay. We're remembering slowly. We went to the grocery store because the little baby dragon had like a family member in the cave or a mom that was dying. And I chose to either stay or follow. I made a choice. I remember this. Oh. And then I met up with Anna. And we're flirting the shit out of Anna. But I can't remember if I like stuck with this or just went like with both paths and then tried to prioritize which one I wanted to do. That's the only problem. Met the dragon that had like a food cart. Oh, God, yeah, I remember redoing this part a lot. And we ended it there. Let me see if I told myself, my past self told my future self something I should remember. Okay, it looked like I told myself that we'd be doing Anna and Adine. We have like 2 different people we can visit. Like, in different playthroughs, I'd do the other ones to learn more about them. So we're going to do Date with Anna, and then Adine, I presume is what I'm going to be doing. And that will be, I guess, the episode. Because for the most part, I remember what has happened thus far, but we'll have to see. I just remember me discovering the park, or there's like a park, and there was like a secret cellar that I opened early, and things like that. But we still haven't gotten to the nitty-gritty of the story, I believe, though. But let's get back into it. And also, you should check out my Discord server in the pinned comment down below. There you are. I was wondering if you'd even show up. I mean, we already... I should honestly, at some point, also check... I don't... Damn it. Oh, man. I mean... I guess we're just gonna keep saving over. I don't know, man. If I regret, then that's gonna be unfortunate. January 1st, there we go. I wouldn't miss an opportunity to meet you. A glutton for punishment, huh? Not that I mind. Follow me, please. So what exactly is this room? It's our testing room for research on live subjects. And what exactly do you test here? You'll see that soon enough. I intend to use this facility to its fullest potential. Stop blushing when you're saying that. I see. Let's start with this one. What's that? I can get a good look at your bone structure, muscle groups, and organs with this. The finer details, we'll need a different machine. Would you please lie down here? Of course. Before we start, can I ask your qualifications? You can trust me, You can trust me, I'm a doctor. What kind of doctor? Well, doctor of pharmacies. the only title I currently hold, but I know how to operate this machinery. That doesn't exactly inspire confidence. You think I'd let an opportunity like this go to waste by not doing my research? I'll have you know that I'm very qualified to perform these tests. If you say so. Now please, try not to move too much while this is running. And how long will that be? Good question, I suppose we'll see soon enough. And what do we do now? Just wait until it's over? What do you want me to do? Dance for you so you don't get bored? Okay, well, I mean, there's a lot of responses we need to clearly do. Because I was trying to always do like either the best responses, because I want you to swoon both of them, or the ones that, you know, don't get me on the bad side. Because if I'm gonna get like one of the endings, I want to at least get the best out of one or two of the characters, if that's the path we're going. What does a dancing dragon look like? Is that your scientific curiosity shining through? I can approve of that. I mean, that's clearly, well, I'm not going to show you. If you're that curious, you might find the answer in the seedier parts of town. Your town has seedy parts. Well, I could make a joke about that, but okay. No! Wait. Oh yeah, I forgot that they lock you in. Oh yeah, I remember. It's one of the things I remember not liking. It's like them just like locking you in for some arbitrary reason. I wouldn't mind that. I'm sure you wouldn't, but I'm afraid I don't provide those kinds of... Damn. Okay. Well, it looks like the path I took was the best one. We'll just go with that. Anna likes when I'm showing curiosity for scientific purposes. Well, I'm not going to show you. Your town has seedier parts. Oh, there's a lot you haven't seen yet. You know, when I heard that, something happened at the facility. I thought it might have been you. It's quite something, isn't it? You know, if I stayed as late as I used to, it might have been me instead of Damien. And it's only because you told me not to stay late so often I wasn't there that night. Still, somebody died. I'm not crying over that bastard. Alright, you can move again. Does that mean I'm done? That's quite the angry face they have. That's a good one. We're just getting started. What about the results? Don't hold your breath. I'll be processing for some time, and the resulting data will be so vast that I'll probably end up studying it for days. Don't expect a result for days. Let's collect some samples now. Where should I start? Wherever you like. Show me your claws. That'd be fingernails in my case. I suppose you're right. It would be insulting to call those thin little things of yours claws. They'd probably break off before you could make use of them in any practical way. Just one more way nature gave us the short end of the stick. So which part would be fine for me to cut off? Take a piece from the white part. The rest you see is attached to the finger. Hold still then. Don't cut off too much. Don't worry, I only need enough to put under a microscope. There, was that so bad? You want me to put a bandage on your little boo-boo? Interesting responses, but okay. I'll show you a boo-boo. No thanks. Bro, you didn't find that funny? What? And here I thought would have been a good joke. So serious. You better behave. No, you aren't. You're only giving me what you owe. Damn, they're all, like, a lot of them are bad responses. Whatever. Oh, I guess with the right training I can make something out of you after all? And what now? Now it'll go right under the microscope. She got up and sat down at the table intently. Anna stared at the device while messing around with the nail clipping. Let's see. Putting your fingernail under a microscope is something we used to do in middle school. Quiet, please. There's a scientist at work here. Okay. The structure looks like a lot like keratin. I mean, again, because I don't want to mess up, I literally every... Because it is. Well, that's not much of a surprise, really. Keratin is the substance that forms the claws of honest dragons, and most of the animals here. At least as far as mammals, reptiles, and birds are concerned. So why you would retain the structure, but not do anything useful with it is beyond me. We pick up coins and other things with it. It gets better. They grow continuously, so they need to be cut regularly. What happens if you don't cut them? They just keep growing. How much can they keep growing? Pretty much indefinitely. I mean, there's a genetic limit that each person technically has. So that's why you have like people on like Guinness World Book Records. You can't just have like a million people trying to grow out their fingernails, because not only does it get really, really gross and become like a burden on your life, but some people like you can keep mostly going indefinitely, but I know there's a limit at some point. It depends on what, right? Like your hair, your eyebrows don't continue growing forever or indefinitely. There's a limit to your hair, but just not a lot of people figure out what that limit is. But there's always a limit, just unknown. Do they get thicker at least, or what happens when they grow? They curl. They just get longer. What a hassle. So how long are you planning on keeping me here? I'm getting impatient already. I'm just saying, our date didn't take all that long, and you mentioned how you'll already have days' worth of data from the machine. Well, we never specified any terms, and I sat out our date until it was officially over. This will certainly go by much quicker if you can show a little patience. Which choice would I pick? I'll just shut up then. Thank you. Says the Queen of Complaining. Yeah, I don't think sassing them will make them appreciate it. Wait, what? I don't complain, I just point out errors. Besides, I'd be Empress, not just Queen. I was expecting they'd actually not... A lot of times, like, characters will just be like, react defensively or offensively, and sometimes you won't know if they'll take something on the chin or not. Not just a Queen, an Empress. By the way, how do you feel about needles? Just hurry up. That wouldn't be very wise, true. By the way, how do you feel about needles? I remember my past self not trusting... Like, we don't know her ultimate... Like, all the research being done. So I don't know if I would trust more samples being taken, but... Please, no! Afraid of needles? Oh, you poor thing. I guess we can skip that part. I certainly don't want to deal with you if you start screaming or crying. Yeah, okay. Go ahead and poke me if you need to before I do the poking. Yeah, I go with the flirtatious one then. I see I'll make the most of it then. You'll need to remove some layers for the next part. What are you gonna do? These are just some electrodes, and I'll also measure your brain activity with one of those helmets. Alright, there you go. What is it now? Oh my god. This date is going very strangely. It's kind of cold in here. We should warm each other up. Oh my. Is it? I suppose it might be for you, considering your lack of fur. Luckily, our scales are pretty good insulators. As you saw last time, it actually goes both ways. We're pretty resistant to both heat and cold. Just let me know if I turn blue. You turn blue when you get cold? I'd like to see that. It's just a joke. Damn it. I have to load. I want to know what their reactions are to all of them. Ugh. Okay. This is kind of embarrassing? Why? Well, we usually don't take off this much in front of others. Not even for doctors? Oh, we do, but that doesn't make it any less embarrassing. I don't understand. I get why you would want to put something on if it's cold, considering your lack of fur, but to have this compulsion to always have some layers on is a bit strange. It's fashion. You are always wearing these goggles. I don't see you using them. It's just a social norm where I come from. As you can probably tell, we don't have a problem showing what we were born with. Man, your genitals are like inside of your damn body. They can talk a lot of shit, but we got dangling parts. This will also take a while. I want to have a good reference. Okay, we'll see how they respond to the other. I wanted to make absolutely sure. Nothing. Yeah, it's kind of cold in here. It's usually too late to get out if I, wait, what? It was just a joke. Besides, when that happens, it's usually too late to get out of it, again unscathed. What a shame. This will also take a while. I want to get a good reference and see how your rates change. Your head shape is a little different, back to where we left off. But I think this one should do the trick. Perfect, just as if it was made for you. I'm not so sure about that. By the way, how can you even be sure that your machinery will have no adverse effects on me? I suppose I can't. That is mildly unsettling. Your physiology is similar enough to ours that there shouldn't be any problems. I see. I'm going to ask you a few questions. What is this, a polygraph test? No, this is something completely different. I'm also measuring your brain activity here. Besides, I don't really care about the truthfulness of your answers. Rather, this is to establish your natural highs and lows of the values I'm measuring. Go ahead, then. Let's start with the easy ones. Just say no to the following 3 questions. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Oh, no. It's gonna matter. It's totally gonna matter. Does this question count already? No, apparently you get it, though. Of course, they would shake their head at that. Yes. The question... Wait. No. I set myself up for this one, didn't I? I'm not sure. Just say no and you'll be fine. Let's just say yes. Wait. The questions start now. Are you human? No. I see. Is your favorite color red? No. Interesting. Have you been convicted of any crime? No. I see. So wait, he auto-answered? And red isn't favorite color. Is that supposed to be about their scales? Now we'll get to the real part. You can answer the following questions however you like. Got it. Did it make you uneasy when you had to answer all the test questions negatively? No. No, not really, but... I don't know what safe this is, but... YOLO. Not really. Versus no. I would never say yes, but... It was, did it make you uneasy when you had to answer all the test questions negatively? No. That's... I'm perfectly fine being a devil's advocate, or any other situation where it's saying no a whole bunch of times, it's consistent. It's... no. I see, interesting. Have you taken a liking to anyone here since you arrived? Yes. I see. Do you have any ulterior motives when you came to our world, or is it as simple as we are led to believe? There are no ulterior motives. I see. That's all for the test. You can take off the helmet and I'll take care of the electrodes. This kind of seemed like an interrogation. I wanted to keep it simple by asking questions that could get a reaction. Let me, however... I mean, maybe we could just go back. What if I say no comment, though? I want to see how they'd react. So, no. Yes. No comment. I guess they are genuinely testing me. Okay. I'll just be, honest to my own understanding then. It was uneasy, no, yes. No ulterior motives. I wanted to keep it simple. It's kind of a shame because in the end, a lack of additional subjects for this test means those results might not be very useful to us. We'd probably need a few more humans. And why do you do them in the first place? The data is still useful, just not as useful as it could be, and besides, I did tell you I'd make the most of this room. Well, what's next? I'm not sure yet. Do I want to get close enough to examine mucosa and orifices? Sus, but I mean they are a doctor. Yes. Is that what you're into? Good to know. We quarantined Reza. Was it Reza or Reza? I think it was Reza. I can't remember how I pronounced them. When he initially arrived, but skipped the procedure with you after examining, we didn't think humans by themselves posed any danger. Nevertheless, who knows what kind of illnesses and bacteria you might be housing. Oh, billions of shit, man. Now, does that mean your procedures are going to get a lot more invasive? No, I'm not in the mood to put a suit on and sterilize the whole room. Well, I might want to definitely respond differently. So, do I want to get it close enough? Probably not. You might be right. And there's only one person in this room who can answer that question. I guess so. Damn. It looks like none of the answers probably will matter. But yes. Is that what you're into? Good to know. We quarantined him, but he skipped. I haven't heard of anyone I've been in contact with getting any strange diseases thus far. Sure, but then I'd have to ask you if any of those actually got close enough to you. As in, wait, what? I haven't heard of anyone I've been in contact with getting any strange diseases. Are they specifically referring to STIs? No orifice examinations, then. For the next part, we'll actually have to go outside. That sounds like fun. Depends. Here, strap this onto your arm. A handheld monitor. I want to measure how you perform during exercise. I don't like exercising. Yes, ma'am. That's a good little human? But that, I mean, I would zoom in if I could. Good little human. I don't like exercising. I was expecting the facepalm. I get a general idea of what responses I could make, which I would think would make them facepalm as a response, and I don't like waiting. Awesome. At least we found something you like. We're gonna go with, of course, the flirtiest. Yes, ma'am. Good little human. How many of you guys watching would be into this right now? I wonder. Now let's go then, shall we? Sure thing. And now, take one lap around the block. I'll be waiting for you here. You can go as fast or slow as you want, but try not to stop until you're back here. I'll be monitoring you, so I'll know if you try to do anything fishy. Fishy? Questionable. I wouldn't do such a thing. The honest and good Neco would never do such a thing. There's no need to make fun of me for it. You're such a bleeding heart. No, stop insulting me. Let's see. Piece of cake. Easier said than done. I'll be watching. No need to point out the obvious. You wouldn't believe the kinds of people I have to deal with sometimes. Yeah, I could say the same. Is that so? I mean, all the answers kind of... Which one would I pick? I wouldn't do such a thing as... It's too subjective. It's a piece of cake. Anyway, you can start whenever. The monitor should take care of the rest. Okay. Trying for a consistent speed, I started with a light jog. Soon, I was outside the gate and around the corner when I met an unexpected surprise. Oh, the Remy person. Oh, hey, long time no see. Indeed, just enjoying the fresh air, I see. Yeah, you know, if you ever want to come by and visit the library or need to know anything, feel free to ask me. I will, thanks. My pleasure. Oh, okay. Afterwards, I finished my lap around the block, arriving only a few minutes after I had started. I suppose it was too much to ask for a lap without any breaks. Maybe I shouldn't have expected you to be fit as you... Maybe I shouldn't have expected you to be... No! I got distracted on the way. How so? Did you have to stop and smell some flowers? I met Remy. Remy? I wouldn't mind if that bastard kicked the bucket too. What? I don't think we can change the fact that we ran into Remy, but... What do you have against him? He's such a self-righteous do-gooder who can't help but stick his nose where it doesn't belong. I don't care what he does as long as he doesn't mess with me, but he does mess with me, so I do care. Anyway, I've got your data, so we can head back inside if you're not too exhausted to walk. I'm curious about the other response, though. How can you say that? That's how I feel. Would you prefer me to lie to your face? Okay. Well, we got our answer. Self-righteous. Anyway, I got your data. Here, get out of here. So we can head back inside if you're not too exhausted. Alright. Looking at your data, it's kinda hard to evaluate it without having any reference points. How much exercise do you usually get? I mean, shit. How much am I gonna have to lie? None at all, I see. You sure get to ask me a lot of questions here. Well, just part of the tests. Although I think those were all the tests I needed to run on for you today. Does that mean we're done here? Oh, some of the data from the scanning machine has been processed. We can look at them. Oh, look at some pretty pictures. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like maybe we're wrapping up the data already. We'll have to see if it gets a little saucy. Probably not. A lot of exercise. Does it matter? Like, I don't know how much our character gets, so they're all, like, personable and there's no wrong answer, I guess. But telling them I get a lot of exercise hopefully would... Like, what if there's a hypothetical point in time where a character has to run, and if he gets exhausted, he dies? But I admit it, instead I get no exercise, so I get exhausted and then, I don't know, get crushed by a boulder? Who knows? A lot. You sure get to ask me a lot of questions. Ooh. So many saving. Unflattering as they may be, why don't you print them out and have them framed? I'd rather be looking at some pretty pictures of you. Ooh. Ooh. That's the best you can come up. Oh shit, they're not impressed. That's not my A game. Oh no. Alright, I forgot you are a mammal. To encounter an intelligent mammal of all things, well, reasonably intelligent at the very least. Why is that surprising? You already have your myths about humans. Myths are myths. Having you here in the flesh is an entirely different thing. It's the same thing with humans and dragons. It's not like I could use our myths to get a scan like this one. It just seems funny, so funny to me. Do you nurse your young from your teats as well? We do. Let me study your muscle groups for a bit. Curious. Before we get even deeper into that, unflattering as they may be, well, you don't have to look at it if you don't want to. And why don't you print them out and have them framed? Or better still, sell the prints. I could make bank doing that. Thanks for the idea. Wouldn't I deserve royalties from that? Sorry, no such written agreement exists. Alright, mammal... Muscle groups. Do you want me to take my clothes off again? I meant the pictures. Oh, I see. You can stay for a bit longer in case I have any questions. Okay. While I continued sitting around the bed, she went up to her table and started looking at the scans of muscle groups. As we talked, her eyes never left the screen. Some of these structures are very similar to those found in Damien's kind. I'm not surprised his stature is similar enough. True, true. Now shut up and let me concentrate. Does that approach ever work? What are you talking about? You being that rude to everyone. Sorry. You apologize, that's a new one. I don't want to make any excuses, but with a high-pressure job like mine, I don't really get to go out and socialize much. Add some deteriorating circumstances to that, and you get my life. Don't you have any friends? Not really. If you keep skipping grades like I did, and were on the fast track in university, you wouldn't really have the time to make or keep any friends either. I think the last time I had a real friend was more than a decade ago. What happened? Well... We went to the same class for a while. I ended up skipping a grade after that year. She found new friends and I didn't. We still met, but those visits became less and less frequent as time moved on. I was around 10 years old when her parents prompted me to visit her. She was in the hospital, apparently had been for some time already. I didn't know because I hadn't seen her for quite a while at that point. She had contracted some sort of degenerative disease. Oops. That caused her to gradually lose control of her muscles. Her case was particularly bad. She was already paralyzed from the neck down by the time I went to visit her. When I entered her room, I couldn't even pretend to be her friend. Lying in the bed was just a crude image of her former self. It was as if she was already dead. I couldn't bear to see her like that. It scared me. I didn't stay long. Seeing her like that was... I just told myself I never wanted to end up like her, dying slowly, painfully, and alone. Some actual background history so we know Anna more. Wow. That was the last time I saw her. She died a few weeks later. That's why you became a scientist? Not really. I became a scientist because that's apparently what I'm good at. It doesn't make my work any less important, though. Just from what we did here today, we might make a few breakthroughs in several areas. Really. You're a completely different yet stable evolutionary line. There are some things that are similar in our bodies and others that are completely different. Anything that is different and works can tell us something new about biology. True. All the various species have their own challenges and diseases. It'll come handy, somewhere for sure. And you're doing all that because of your pure and selfish heart? Not really, but if I do the brunt of the work, then I deserve to have my name on it. I guess so. Well, I think that's it for the day. You can go if you like. I wouldn't mind staying for a bit longer. Really? Well, I want to study those pictures some more, and I can't really have you around if I do anything serious. But maybe some other time. Really? Because you're so insistent, I might as well. Okay. You know how busy I am, but I can call you if you'd like. Sure. If I don't forget, that is. Well, I'll leave you to your work then. Uh-huh. I guess that was a successful day. Is it going to grade me? Looks like I have some free time today. Get some deserved rest. There would be in not this playthrough. We could just completely not be friends with them, skip every day, and just relax. But obviously, we're gonna have to go with the date with Adine too. Hell yeah, the delivery girl. Best girl. I mean, I don't even know who best girl would be. I have to learn all of them first. But just a minute. I hope I didn't forget anything. You said something about going to the beach. Yep. You know, I'm glad they decided not to send you away after all. Me too. Oh, guess who got her entry confirmation for the stunt flying competition? Is it me? You know what? We can save up. We can just keep doing as I'm doing. Is it me? Don't be silly, Neco. I've got it right here in black and white. No. Remy did. What? What are you talking about? Is a joke. Oh no. Damn. All of them have their own sense of humor. Alright, but you did? That's right. Versus, is it me? We are happy to confirm your entry into the annual stunt flying competition. Please have your competitor number ready and show up at the organizator? Is that a word? Organizators? Organizator? I know of organizers. Organization. The organizer's booth, let's just call it. At the summer festival. Is it a word, really? Well, who cares about the rest? I'm in. That's great. But the festival's pretty soon. I have to make the most of the time until then to get my skills up to par. I thought you already had years of experience. Yeah, but now I have to practice the best routine I can possibly come up with. Not to mention make sure I can execute it flawlessly when the time comes. Practicing in general is very different than practicing for an event like this one. I see. Are you ready to see some stunt flying? Sure. Let's go then. Oh. This is already a better date. We're going to the beach. Hell yeah. So this is where you usually practice? I practice just about anywhere, but today is a nice day for a beach visit. Water and sand are also good surfaces to practice complicated maneuvers on in case you can't make the landing. Makes sense. Well, don't let me hold you up. Oh, I can't just start practicing right now. I'm still giddy with excitement from getting that letter earlier. Besides, I wanted to hang out with you while we're here as well. Best girl, damn. Sounds good to me. You visit the beach often. My heavy fingers, I swear to God. Not really, except for practice, that is. It does make for a nice backdrop while I fly, though. I see. Do you ever go to the beach? No, it's not something that was possible for me the last couple of years, but it certainly used to be something other people would do. I see. Sunning yourself can be nice sometimes, but I'm not really a fan of going swimming. There is so much more you can do at the beach, though. Like what? You already mentioned sunning. Sunning. Do you ever get a tan? What's that? I guess that's a no then. Like, what are the scientific benefits of the sun on lizards? I mean, I guess like I don't know too much about lizards, you know, real world lizards rather. If they're thin on a heating rock and like underneath a heating lamp or under the actual organic sunlight, are there any like scale benefits? Like comparative like to us trying to keep our hair moist and clean? Like, my hair is completely greasy and sweaty under this, which is exactly why I'm wearing a beanie. But scales. I'm not sure if the health benefits Dragon would hypothetically get. I don't know. To be fair, you're completely covered in scales, so I imagine you wouldn't be affected. Tanning is a reaction of the skin when it's exposed to sunlight. If humans stay in the sun for a while, our skin can get darker. How strange. And if we are exposed for too long, we can get what's called sunburn. And what's that? Well, the skin can take on a reddish tint, and it can be also painful and cause dizziness. Well, you should have said our skin can peel like a snake. It's the perfect time to make a comparison of how similar we are in that sunburned skin peels off like snake skin. So you have to be careful not to stay in the sun for too long. Pretty much. Though that isn't necessarily true for all of us, depending on the skin tone. People can be more or less affected by the radiation. Skin pigmentation, yeah. I see, that sounds kind of complicated. Does that mean we shouldn't stay here for too long? Oh no. I'll just have to be careful. Don't worry about it. It won't affect me much, if at all. I see. Just let me know if I need to do anything. Don't worry about it. And I'll just have to be careful. I would argue... I'll say it won't affect me. I mean, there's some trees nearby. I see a branch there. It has to be connected to a tree. I can just use that to give myself shade. Or, don't worry about it. Will do. You said you don't like swimming all that much. Why is that? Well, as you can imagine, I prefer the air to the sea, even though we flyers have quite a relationship with the water. What kind of relationship are we talking about? We use it to hunt. I see, so you go fishing but can't swim all that well? Pretty much. We can do enough to safely hunt and paddle on the surface, but that's about it. If we actually want to go swimming, it's recommended we wear a life vest. Maybe we can teach her how to swim. Is that bad? Or is it that bad? Our wings are made for flying, not for swimming. The movements and musculature are rather different. With some training we can learn to swim better, but it still wouldn't really be effective. I mean, they're also a wyvern. So I mean, yeah, having wyvern wings probably wouldn't be too much for the best, but... I don't know, man. It could. It depends on how sensitive or how much paddle or arm strength you could for, any form of stroke motion when swimming with wyvern anatomy. Like I'm pretty sure bats can effectively swim in the water. So if bats can do it, then a wyvern should be able to, right? And besides, who would choose to learn to swim if we already have the air to ourselves? Flying is just your thing, I guess. Pretty much. You made it sound as if beaches are a pretty important thing for humans. I wouldn't say important, rather it's a unique way for people to spend time. It was often done as a leisure activity or a way to spend holiday vacations. That sounds pretty important to me. What else did you do at the beach? Let me think. I got an idea and started looking for something in the sand. On the ground, with a bit of digging, I found a flat, smooth stone and showed it we're going to skip rocks. Hell yeah. I was thinking we were going to look for a shellfish. Do you have any idea what I'm going to do with this? Not really. Let me show you something. I went to the edge of the water, followed closely by Adine. Now watch this! I extended my arm with the best technique I could muster before I threw the stone towards the water. Spinning in the air, the stone bounced on the water surface a few times before it sunk into the sea. What was that? Stone skipping. Never heard of it? No, how'd you do that? I can show you. I looked around for another suitable stone and soon found one near the edge of the water. Let's start with a stone. Ideally, we want one that has a big surface area but is as flat as possible. Got it. This one is also really smooth, which helps too. Okay, so we need smooth, flat stones. Now, the technique is also pretty important. I'm not sure how well this will translate to your anatomy, but I'll just show you how I do it, and then we can figure out what you can do. Okay. Hold the stone like this. Extend your arm and curl it like this. Then you have to throw it in such a way that it stays relatively stable in the air, but spins as fast as you can make it. I do it like this. No visual cues, just plop, plop. I threw the stone in once again, showing her how it subsequently bounced a few times over the water surface before it sunk into the sea. I'm not sure if I can do that. We'll see, maybe we can figure something out. Let's look for a stone first. Okay. We both started looking for another appropriate stone. I saw Adine scratching around the sand with one of her feet. She crouched down to pick something up before she returned to me. Here, what about this one? That should work. See, you've already got that part down. I guess so. Okay, now for the technique. She was holding the stone in the claws at the edge of her wings. I tried to guide her by pulling her wing back like I would an arm, but it became clear to me that it lacked a lot of maneuverability an arm would have. For the throw, you'll want to move your wing forward as fast as you can, and at the very end of the extension, let go of the stone. I'll try. I could see her moving her wing awkwardly. She pushed it forward before releasing the stone, which sunk without bouncing a single time. Oh no, that didn't work. There wasn't really enough spin on it. Let me try again. Alright. Well, I get to practice flying. Can't get distracted on stone tossing. This is an important competition. I waded a few steps into the water, retrieved the stone she'd thrown only moments ago. Here you go. I'll try something different this time. Instead of using her wings, she took the stone into the dexterous claws on one of her feet, as she continued to stand on the other leg. Effortlessly, she pulled her leg back before rapidly moving it forward and releasing the stone. It flew in a butt of an upward arc before it bounced off the water's surface once, and subsequently sunk into the ocean's waters. Nice! Not bad, huh? Looks like you're better with your feet. I had no idea you could do that with your leg. What more can you do with your leg? Actually, your legs are what we mainly use to grab things. It only gets complicated if I'm supposed to be moving at the same time, like when I'm waiting in the cafe. Interesting. I suppose for someone who's hunting while flying, that's pretty much a requirement. Like hawks and eagles. It is actually. If I'm at home and eating chips or something, I usually use my feet as well. Saying that's gross, I would not do that. Bruh. That sounds kind of funny. I wish I could do that with we could. It's just our feet are gross. I'm sure the first two answers are rude. I'm only going to see what their response is to this one. It probably isn't even half as funny as you're picturing it. Probably. I wish I could do that with my feet. Some monkeys actually can. They basically have hands instead of feet. So they have 4 hands? Yep. That seems like it'd be handy, but I think I like my wings better. That was a neat trick, though, so what else can you do at the beach? I don't know, build sandcastles? I haven't done that in like 2 decades. I tried to imagine what Adine building a sandcastle would look like based on what I knew now. She probably wouldn't be using her wings. Would you believe me if I told you we used to have contests for building sandcastles back home? Really? Yeah, people would build huge, detailed sculptures that would be taller than both of us, just with sand. Oh wow, that sounds hard though. I don't want to distract them so much. As long as this isn't a whole thing where they have a little time training, I'm just a little concerned about that. It's not that hard. You could try it. I'm not sure I have the patience for that. To me, it seems like a bit of a shame to build big, elaborate sculptures out of something like sand that clearly won't last. If you're going to spend so much time on it, why not create something that will stay? Seems almost like a majestic answer. It's actually the point of the contests. Oh, really? People demonstrate their skill in creating these sculptures, and by using something like sand, they prove that it doesn't matter if the sculpture gets destroyed in the end, because they can just do it again if they like. I see, that's pretty interesting. Actually, it's not unlike your stunt flying competition. How so? Well, during your competition, nothing lasting is created from the performance itself. It's all about the experience and the memories. You have to prove that you're skilled enough to do those stunts right at the very moment just for competition. That's a good point. I'm in the mood for a snack. Oh, snack. Okay, well I want to know how the other answers are going to be though. It's not that hard. Really, are you talking from experience? Kinda. If I just said it is, then it seems rather... To me, Alright. We're going to pick, Oops. What if I agree, though? All that effort only to be swept away by the tide or worn down by the weather. Kinda sad. Yeah, no, we must build sandcastles. We must engage in the sandcastle dreaming. Oh, yes. Snack. Yes, please. Alright. You can watch me if you like. Maybe you can learn a thing or two from it. You want to teach me how to fish? Sure, since you taught me the... What was it called again? Stone skipping. Right, since you taught me the stone skipping, I can show you how to fish. Okay. We actually have 2 very different ways of doing it. is hunting and angling. Personally, I prefer hunting though. I can see why. Let me demonstrate. She took a few steps back, then started running towards the edge of the sea. Rapidly flapping her wings, she jumped into the air at the last second, taking off and flying around the area. I could see her staring at the sea intently, circling a few times before descending. Descending towards the water surface, claws extended. When she got close enough, her claw suddenly sunk into the water, only to reappear with a fish in her grasp. Afterwards, she returned and landed near me. Did you see that? Yeah, but I think my distinct lack of wings would probably prevent me from doing the same thing. You don't have to do exactly the same thing in the end. I'm just grabbing them right out of the sea. You could do that. Not so sure about that. I bet it's a lot easier with your claws. Fish can be pretty slippery. I guess you have a point. Well, there's still the other method. Angling. Angling. See my tail? She showed me her tail. At its end, there was a fork in it. With its distinct shape, size, and color, it reminded me a lot of a banana. Nice banana tail. What about it? This is the bait. She sat down near the edge of the water, letting her tail hang down into it. This can take a while sometimes. There are techniques which can speed up the process. The right amount of movement attracts different kinds of fish. That way we can even choose what we're going to get. And that works? And not all the time, but often enough. Interesting. There are even groups that exchange tips and such for angling this way. Suddenly I saw her whip her tail upwards, which caused a fish to be launched towards the beach, where it landed on the ground with an audible thud. There you go. That didn't take too long. Catching two fish instantly on a beach? Like, damn. It can be very hit and miss. I just got lucky this time, and it's not the kind of fish I really wanted. I guess that's why you prefer hunting. Yep, and you also don't get the nibble scars on your tail where the fish bite you. I see. Now, I suppose angling is also going to be hard for you without a forked tail like we have. Actually, we have fishing rods for that where we come from. What's that? The principle is very similar. Basically, it's a long stick that we hold over the water. The line connected to it has a bait and hook at the end to catch the fish. When the fish bites the hook, we can reel in the line to get the fish to us. So you are using a tool to do the very similar thing. Basically, yes. Sometimes we also use fishing nets. Oh, some of us do that as well. Not my kind, but usually it's those who either work for a fishing company or sell seafood out in the market. Imagine someone like you who doesn't have to buy their fish on the market, though. True, but sometimes it's easier just to get them there to get what I want, instead of coming all the way here. I see. Speaking of which, let me get a few more for later. Once more, Adine took to the sky to hunt for fish. While it was interesting to watch her for a bit, she kept hunting for a while, and I started passing the time by collecting some seashells. Phew, that should last me for a while. Oh, what are those? Seashells? Oh. What to say? I wouldn't say I was bored, I mean... They're for you. For me, what for? We could decorate your apartment with them or something. I see. They don't seem to be too into that. Maybe I should ask you to clarify, but does this have any particular significance for humans? It's just a gift. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe not the best response, I guess. I guess a souvenir for me. It's just a souvenir for when I get back home. I see. You got some seashells. 3 of them. Keep the seashells. It was an achievement, too. All that hunting was a good warm-up. I feel about ready to start with the practice now. I mean, I'm not sure if, like, them keeping it or me keeping it. If I keep it, maybe it would be sentimental to both of us in the future. Or if I leave it to them, maybe it becomes sentimental, but they seem to not care about it, so I'll just keep my hands on it instead. All that hunting was a good warm-up. I feel about ready to start with the practice. Yeah, go ahead and I'll watch from here. Actually, now that I'll be part of an official competition, I need a fancy stage name. Do you have something in mind? Ideas. Which one would they like? Lightning. Neo-wing. Angel. A little ironic considering the title, but what about Angel? Why didn't I think of that? Ever since I knew about the contest, I've been thinking of this name. What a crazy coincidence. Interesting. Do you mind if I go with that? Huh. They like that. Interesting. We were aligned on that name, huh? Stormhawk. That sounds powerful and dynamic. I like it. Neo-wing. Sounds gracious and acrobatic. Lightning. I like the sound of that. Free fall. Actually, that sounds pretty nice. Angel or Stormhawk? We'll go with Angel because if... Why didn't I think of that? Ever since I knew about the contest, I've been thinking of this name. We'll go with that because of the coincidence. Not at all. Angel it is then. Alright, are you ready to see some aerobatics? I certainly hope so. I'll start off with a few easy moves. Effortlessly, she took to the sky, circling around the area a few times before she started to do a few maneuvers. Hell yeah! A roll followed by a loop. No, a roll followed by a loop, after which she did another roll. It seemed to be less of a practice routine and more of a warm-up to me. Gradually her maneuvers got more complicated. I saw circles that got smaller and smaller, a brief nosedive, and multiple loops and rolls one after the other. I feel like I'm getting tongue-tied here a lot. Then she landed and returned to me. What do you think? That was great. You haven't even seen the best part yet. And what would that be? My very own Adine special, or rather Angel special. It's a routine I came up with and have been practicing for a while. It's pretty difficult, so I'll probably spend the rest of my time until the competition, perfecting it as much as possible. And what does it look like? It starts off with circles near the ground. Then, as I ascend, the circles get smaller and smaller. Once I reach the highest point, I go into a nosedive through the middle of the circles. At the show, I'll use a smoke trail when doing the circles so everyone can actually see me going through the circles I made. That sounds pretty cool. I mean, that's why freefall would sound like a good idea for this move, I guess. That's not all. While nosediving, I'll do a few rolls, and just before I hit the ground, I'll pull up again. Lastly, I'll end with a few loops and go to the next maneuver. It all ends up making a neat shape in the sky with the smoke trails. Sounds like you got it all figured out already. Yeah, now I only have to perfect my execution of it. Don't let me hold you up. Especially if you're going to nosedive like that, as long as you don't slam into the ground and die. With determination in her eyes, she took to the skies once more. When she reached a certain height, she slowly descended again until she was close to the water's surface. Then she started making her circles, slowly ascending as the circles gradually got smaller and smaller. Once her circles became as small as possible, she suddenly turned herself around and went into nosedive. Her speed quickly increased while she moved towards the water. Then she did a roll and another, followed by the third. Dangerously close to the water's surface, she suddenly pulled up, but as she did, one of her feet went below the surface, where it apparently caught onto something, causing her to spin out of control. I saw her feeble attempt to regain control as she barely managed to steady herself enough to get back to the beach. She made a rough landing, rolling on the ground a few times after colliding with the sand. Adine, are you alright? Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. It looked pretty impressive until the landing. Ouch, my wings hurt. Oh no. Let me take a look. Can you move it? A bit, but it really starts to hurt if I go further than this. I don't know. At least it doesn't seem to be broken. I guess it's a sprain. Happens all the time. Really? Well, not all the time, but it happens. What about the competition? The injury is going to put a serious damper on my practice schedule, but I'm not giving up anytime soon. I guess practice is over for today at the very least. Yeah, let's head back. I don't think I'd be able to make it so they don't mess up, I guess. I don't think that would be avoidable, honestly. I should have some bandages in the cabinet. I'll get them for you. What now? Would you do me the honors? Of course, where should I start? I think it's this joint right here. Yep, definitely. Okay, let me try to get this right. Here, that should do it. How does it feel? Much better. Maybe with this I can start practicing again in a day or two. Just be safe, of course. Well, thanks for the help with the bandages. And sorry about cutting practice short for today. I guess you didn't get to see any proper aerobatics at all. You could show me the aerobatics in bed. It's no big deal. Your health is more important. Are you going to come to the show? If I can, sure. Alright, you might be busy. I'll have to see if I can make it. I'd love to be at the show, though. I'll contact you later with all the details. We can figure it out from there. Sounds good. I'll see you next time, then. See you. Well, I mean, yeah. Since we're going with the... Since we're... It's rather loud, Jesus. Chapter 4. Chapter 4. Well, at least got to Chapter 4, but how many chapters are in this damn game? Like, seriously. We got seashells, though. We got the 2 dates done. Since we're going with the perfect path, or presumed perfect path, just like, I remember the investigation scenes also had, like, a ranking to it. I want to get the investigations perfect, the relations are perfect. I like doing whatever's the hardest and most minute, detail-obsessed type of scenes before I do any kind of situation of, well, go with the flow, or I don't care, or do the worst choices, or the presumed worst choices. Trying to do the perfect route on a first playthrough is always what I try to do, but usually it becomes stressful because then it's like a lot of guessing, unless you use a guide, which I don't do. But we're going to leave it there. But I hope you enjoyed as I finally got back to playing this after over a year of not playing it. But we'll see. If a lot of people are, wanting to watch more of this, then I'll continue, because there's a lot of other games I want to get into, but like I didn't want to hop in a brand new VN. Like I want to play the Snoot game, right? Or the there's like the Snoot game and the other one that's like the Dating the Gator. The Snoot game and Gator VNs are the ones that are on my radar that I feel like people would really want to see me play, which is why I want to get through Echo and this. But knowing this game is massive, and like Echo and this are both massive, and Echo also has this gay porn problem, which is mostly avoidable except for a few scenes, so I'm told. But either way, and with that, with Angels with Scaly Wings, or Scalies with Angel Wings, I keep getting the two mixed up. The sequel is coming at some point, so I wanted to get like this done before it releases, but I don't know if I'll be able to make that in time, but we'll see. We'll see. But if you enjoyed and want more, please leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button, big muffalo subscriber, hit the bell notification down below for updates on my videos. Thank you for watching, and until the next time.